What is going on, everyone? It is Rob and Johnny. Welcome to episode 24 of the MMArcade podcast. Rob, it's been another week, man. It's been a crazy week.
It has. And guys, I'm sorry. The crazier news and results of the weekend. We wanted to get this up yesterday, but we try to get it done Mondays. I just cannot really swing it. I try and the universe just it gives me grief. But here we are, Tuesday no less.
Tuesday is just as good. Only one day out.
It's better than it was Fridays, okay? Which was old news. So
correct.
I think we're in a good place. 24 episodes. Look at us go.
24, definitely in a good place. And especially because all of you, we were just talking about it before we started recording, all the likes that you give, all the comments that you give, and obviously everyone subscribing. It's such a huge help. Anything that you do on a video really does help the podcast. So please do please do subscribe if you are new. But we've got a big week, Rob, and we're obviously going to be talking about all the results from UFC 294 that just took place on the weekend. And we've got a few other things to talk about as well. Games, news, answering your questions, all that good stuff. But Rob, let's start off with UFC 294. Where would you like to begin? I have it in the order of Usman versus Chimaev, Makhachev versus Volk, and then we can talk about the Johnny Walker situation. You want to go in that order? I feel like we can do that.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Yeah, let's get straight into it. Usman versus Chimaev. I mentioned this to you last week. I said you don't know which Usman's going to turn up. It's 12 days notice. You never know what's going to happen, okay? You don't know which version of that fighter we're going to see. And I bring this up because of next fight, because of the Volk and Makhachev. But in this fight specific, Usman versus Chimaev, Usman looks good, dude. He looked good, didn't he? And he looked good. Now, he had let's go round by round because I want to break this down. It's a middleweight fight. Obviously, I was watching it with my eyes peeled, right? But round one, Chimaev came out like he always does, out of the gate, 100-mile-an-hour, early takedowns. I said this. I said I can see Chimaev really utilizing the wrestling because it makes perfect sense. One, Chimaev's so good at it. He's been training for however long for Costa to do the exact same thing to Costa. Now he finds out he's fighting Usman, who has bad knees, allegedly. May have gotten hurt at the open workout, which was some news that there was rumors going around that Usman was going to be out of the fight because he popped his knee in the open workout. Okay, these are all things that definitely got back to Chimaev. So he's been training for however long. Usman takes the fight 12 days notice, maybe injured. It's a no-brainer. Guy shoots. And he shoots early in the first round and controls him. Okay, tell me what your opinions were. There was a lot of talks about 10-8, and what do you think about the 10-8? Do you think it was a 10-8? I probably would have given it a 10-8, maybe.
Yeah, and the main reason people were saying that it wasn't a 10-8 and it was only a 10-9 was because Chimaev, in the grand scheme of things, didn't do that much damage on the ground because really, he didn't do a crazy amount of damage. He obviously had a huge amount of control time. But the reason why I would still give it a 10-8 is because Usman just did nothing in the round as a result of that. And I know that damage trumps all, but that's got to contribute for something when one guy literally has pretty much no offense whatsoever. So that's why I believe it was a 10-8. And either way, 10-8, 10... Actually, no, I shouldn't say that because it really does determine who actually won the fight and whether it should be a draw. Yeah, but personally, I would give it a 10-8. It is, yeah.
10-8s have such a huge impact in the fight as a whole if it goes to decision. It is... Yeah. It's almost like getting deducted a point for a foul. It's huge. It's literally fight-changing. Now, the scoring between a 10 and the scoring of a 10-8, we would need a podcast in itself to sit here and try and work out how you score 10-8s. Okay, I know they have their own scoring systems and school for that, but we do not have the time to go into what makes a 10-8. I think if we dumb it down, let's just dumb it right down. Okay, I'm a simple man. Let's dumb it right down. Who won the round? Okay, 10-9. Who won the round very, very convincingly? 10-8. Okay? Yeah. It's exactly as you said. Usman he wasn't doing anything. He had zero offense in that round. And for me, If you give me 5 minutes to just offensively strike someone and they do absolutely nothing, that's a 10-8 in my opinion. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll leave that there because there were also a couple moments. So Chimaev, everybody who knows of Chimaev understands he's a wrestler. He's a grappler and he's very good at that sort of, sort of Russian pseudo style, Dagestani style wrestling, Chechen wrestling, right? Like they're just up against the fence, body lock control, ride him, take the back. Do that, rinse and repeat until you get your hand raised. And that's what he did. He had perfect control against a guy of Usman's caliber. Like I got to say, there were two moments in particular that I thought this fight might be over. And that's the first one when in the first round when Chimaev had Usman's back in the body triangle and flattened him out.
Mm-hmm.
Flattened him out on his back and was starting to rain down blows. There was a moment I was like, man, this is over. And
but it wasn't.
The second time,
Usman survived, man.
Yeah, but it wasn't. And then the second time was when Usman stood up and Chimaev went for the choke. And then Usman threw him headfirst into the canvas.
Oh, that was so good, wasn't it? That was
Do you know how many times? Do you know how many times in training I've had to do to my back, and I've thought to myself, will this work?
Dude, the guy went into genuine fight or flight. Like you could see it in his kind of face. He was like, if I don't do anything right now, I am going to be taken out. And it worked. Like it was actually mind-boggling too. I don't remember though, Rob, like if they immediately stood up after that, or Chimaev still held his back for a little bit, but it at least got him out of that immediate danger of the rear naked choke.
100%. And honestly, I kid you not, I have been thinking about this for years if it would work. And I'm glad to see that it does work. It does work. Yeah. You need to have conviction and dedication to making it happen, but it works. But round one, Chimaev held him down, threw a lot of punches. He was hitting him a lot in that first round, and Usman had absolutely zero answer for any of it. 10-8 in my opinion. Okay, obviously it wasn't, but that was a very heavy showing of Chimaev. But let's look at that. Chimaev has done this. Oh, well, we'll look at round two. So then we come into round two, right? And Chimaev is significantly slower. Mm-hmm. Significantly slower, okay? Because I know firsthand body locks, body triangles with the legs, and that grinding style, it takes it out of you. And then you do that on a guy like Usman of his caliber, champion level, fighter caliber, athletic caliber, wrestling caliber. It's got to be hard. It's got to be tiring, and we saw it was tiring. Because in the second round, he came out significantly slower.
Yeah. The inside baseball, apparently Chimaev was like, I broke my wrist in the first round, but we've not seen any official confirmation to that effect. But I was even considering that, I was still very, very surprised that Chimaev slowed down so much. Like it's almost as if he completely gassed himself in the first round, or maybe his corner convinced him that he got a 10-8 so he could take the next round easy and then come back in the third. Who knows what the strategy was? Who knows if he actually broke his wrist? But I was genuinely surprised, and Usman took advantage of it.
He did. Usman was landing heavy shots. I've got to say also, I can't tell. Usman's a southpaw, isn't he?
Yeah, I believe so, yeah.
And what's Chimaev? Is he a southpaw? Because he was rocking southpaw orthodox, like switching a lot in that round. I can't for the life of me remember right now if he's a southpaw or orthodox. I do know though when he went to orthodox, he did get calf kicked by Usman and then quickly changed back. So I don't know what he is naturally, but that was a good look on Usman. Usman was landing heavy shots. He was landing his jabs. He was landing his twos. Yep. He threw the calf kick when it presented itself and was really controlling that space and controlling that distance, obviously wary of the threat of Chimaev's takedown. He even feinted some of his own takedowns, which I don't know if Chimaev I don't know if that kept Chimaev on his toes and kept him a little bit further back, which is why he had such success with his punches and why Chimaev wasn't going for the shots, because he was further back in the spacing, or if Chimaev was just too tired and like just wanted to chill that round, like wanted to slow that round down a little bit to get some blood into his arms.
I think he was a bit too tired. I don't think Usman really feinted those takedowns enough. Like, they didn't look too convincing, and I don't believe Chimaev actually bought into it. You know what I mean? I actually think that he wanted to dictate, for whatever reason, broken wrist or otherwise, he wanted to dictate a slower round. But you can't do that, because in my mind, Usman won the round 10-9. Because like, he definitely did enough. And then it goes into the third round, making everything more controversial, because no one can decide whether the first round was a 10-8 or not.
And you're 100%. Like, you're rolling the dice. As well as, like, mate, Usman landed some heavy shots, and everyone knows those shots in the small gloves. They're an inch or a centimeter this way, centimeter that way. Maybe it finishes you. Maybe that's the shot that switches you off. Like, you don't know. It is so risky to take your foot off the gas in this game. You know, to have a round off. You can play safe, but you can't take your foot off the gas. No. And I felt like that's what Chimaev was doing a little bit in that round.
I agree.
But looking at the two rounds side by side, you can see Chimaev went balls to the wall in that first round to get that takedown, to control him the way he was, and looking for that finish, like really trying to maul him out, looking for the chokes, looking for the ground and pound. And you can see, like, through his fight history, he's had a lot of success with that. A lot of success. But the guys, the higher tier guys, like Burns, like Usman now, that can get through that first round, present him trouble. Now, if you want to really look into it, is it his what's it called? Efficiency? Like, gauging his efficiency in the first round. Does he put too much into the first round? You know, that's another episode in itself. But he came out hard in the first round. Usman survived the first round, came back to win the second round. Then we move into the third round.
I'm going to say that even though I was definitely rooting for Usman in this entire fight, especially after what he did in the second, especially after such a short turnaround, I have to say I believe Chimaev won the third. And which, in my mind, Chimaev wins the whole fight. Even if you were to consider the first round of 10-9 to Chimaev, I thought he did just enough, especially with the takedown towards the back end of the round 3, to take the third round. And to be fair, Usman was doing so well before that point. Like, I was really impressed with how he was doing on the stand up. And then again, he went for a takedown, and I don't know why he did that. I think the commentators were even like in the third round, Usman just needs to stand up and keep trading blows, because he was really troubling Chimaev. And then Chimaev was like, you know what, I got to take him down. He was having a lot of success, bro. And the only reason he won the round in my mind, because he took him down in the end. And then Usman was like flat on his back. Chimaev was preventing him from getting up. Finally, he did get up in the end, and they were trading blows for like another 15, 20 seconds or something. But I don't believe Usman did enough before he got taken down to win the round in my eyes. But that's my take.
Yeah, it's... I'm 100% with you on that. I thought Usman was having a lot of success with his hands early in round 3. A lot of success. And that may have been what pushed Chimaev to go for that shot. And thank God he did, because he took Usman down, had Usman flat, had Usman flat on his back. And that just looks bad in the judge's eyes. It just looks it looks like control. And I do believe that's what lost him the fight as well. Now, like, regardless of the scoring in the first round, but I thought, like, if we're looking at round 3, I thought the takedown is what cemented the win for Chimaev. And and Chimaev got his hand raised because of it. Chimaev beat Usman, and this was an Usman on 12 days' notice,
and not in his weight class. Like,
Not in his weight class.
Crazy how well he did. I have so much more respect for him, and I already did before, but to turn around like that, to fight someone like Chimaev, that was just super impressive. And everyone's got to give him his props for that.
100%. 100%. I thought he looked sensational as well. And, with like 12 days notice, it didn't look like he had only been training for 12 days. It looked like he had been training and then he came up and he just like, I'm ready enough. And he gets in there. Now, I'm curious though, like, does Usman with 12 weeks beat Chimaev?
So I actually do think that with a proper camp, Usman stands a really good chance against Chimaev, and dare I say beats him. And this leads into a question that I wanted to ask you, Rob. I wanted to talk about in this episode. How well do you think Chimaev's going to actually do against, especially top 10 ranked middleweights? Because we said that he gassed in the first round for whatever reason. And I see a lot of top 10 ranked middleweights, if they can survive that first round, doing a lot of damage against Chimaev, especially on the stand-up. We know how striking heavy the middleweight division is. So can I ask you, how do you think Chimaev will go against some of the other middleweights?
Yeah, that's a hard one to answer because honestly, you never know. You never know, right? But this is what we do know. Chimaev's going to be fighting Strickland for the title. Okay?
Yeah.
And whether he deserves it or not, that's another debate.
It's another podcast.
Right? You wrote it down on the run sheet, like Strickland saying he doesn't effing deserve it, and getting a decision with a welterweight off the couch does not fucking earn it. Like like he's just saying what we're all thinking, right?
He's right. But look, kudos to him. He said he's still going to fight him, but he was very honest about it.
Yeah. It was, like I said, he's just saying what we're all thinking. But in saying that, I don't want to take away from Chimaev either, because he fought an Usman, right, with who's like championship level, maybe one of the best welterweights to ever do it. He's in that discussion, and not only did he beat him, but he looked good. Like he looked good. He had a lot of control in that first round.
Yeah,
he got hairy. He started to slow down, but he beat an Usman. Usman's a hard fight. I don't care. Like Usman, we were speaking about the mentality of taking short notice fights last week.
Yeah,
whereas like Usman kind of had nothing to lose. He's not ranked as a middleweight. Doesn't put his welterweight rankings in jeopardy. He's obviously he'd be getting paid a big buck. There was a lucrative title fight in the picture as well. Like, so Usman came in like with not much to lose, and that may have given him some free reign in his ability to just throw hands, especially after the way he lost that first round. But I don't want to take anything away from Chimaev. I think Usman's a tough fight, and he beat him. He did beat him. Whether that was worth a title shot, I don't think so. Neither does Strickland, but it is what it is. I like the idea of those two dudes being in the division. But sorry, I got distracted.
You clearly got a lot on your mind.
How Chimaev will go against the other middleweights, it's hard to say. Styles make fights. But he's going to be fighting Strickland. And Strickland's got some pretty good takedown defense. Not to mention, he's an awkward guy to stand with. The way he throws. I can see Strickland giving Chimaev a hard fight. I think it's going to be a hard fight. I don't think Chimaev's going to run through him. He's definitely not going to be able to run through him. And over 5 rounds, Strickland's very energy efficient. Very energy efficient. He almost gets faster during the rounds. So, I think he's obviously that breakdown is going to be for another day, but I think he's going to have some really he's going to have a really hard test, really hard fight on his hands. Because if anyone's going to last the round, it's going to be Strickland. He's a very hard dude to take down. People have tried.
Dude, I really do rate Strickland against Chimaev. I think the key question is, especially in the first or second round, can Strickland survive? And I personally think he can. And then when you talk about how Chimaev fought in the latter rounds or the latter parts of the fight against Usman, and how, even just against Adesanya, how well Strickland was doing. Like even the 5th round, you remember, he was still walking Adesanya down, calling him out. He felt like he could fight for another 5 rounds after that. So if Chimaev did gas himself out, let's put aside the whole broken wrist and everything. If he did actually gas himself out, I'm going to say I would actually back Strickland to beat Chimaev. But we'll see. That's going to be for another episode, as we said. But the next thing that I want to ask you, Rob, is what's next for Kamaru Usman?
I'm very excited. Like, not very excited. I'm happy Chimaev and Usman, that fight that did happen, because it just adds more blood to the top of the game. Like, adds more boys to the top of the charts, which is like interesting fights. What's next for Usman? Is he going to stay a middleweight? I don't know, but that fight interests me. I like that fight. I'd fight a middleweight Usman. That's a.
You said against Usman that interests you if he was to stay at middleweight?
Yeah.
All right.
I don't think it's a bad fight to have. Like, what are you going to do? No. Make Usman fight through ranks 30 to 20?
I 100% agree.
To get to the top.
No, I just didn't expect you to say it.
Like, it was consecutive, defending welterweight champion. He definitely deserves a fight at the top of the charts of the middleweight division. How well he'll do, we will see. But like seeing fresh blood at the top of the game, that's interesting. I like it. I like it. Seeing Chimaev and Strickland fighting, that moves things around. I like it. It makes things interesting and exciting. And I am here for it, mate. I am here for it. So I hope he stays.
Dude, you know what? Yeah.
Stick around.
Yeah, he should stick around.
Usman. It's fun
I
here.
agree.
It's fun up here, mate.
Especially with I want to see how he does with the full camp. I want to see, not just on 12 days notice, I want to see him like properly preparing and how he would do against, the likes of you, the likes of, if Dricus isn't getting a fight, could he fight Dricus?
He did call out Dricus.
Oh, did he actually?
He did call out Dricus. I'm pretty sure he mentioned it post fight. I think he said like that fight interests him. Because that fight does get him in title contention talks, right?
Oh, absolutely.
He's obviously interested in staying at middleweight. He's obviously interested in hanging around the top of the crop, which he undoubtedly deserves. So,
Can I say this though? I reckon if Covington does beat Edwards, then Usman fights Covington for sure. Because you know what I mean, because he's beaten him twice now, and they have such like a fierce rivalry. It'll sell so much in the pay-per-view. I reckon it's a great fight, and I reckon Usman absolutely takes it up. And I think as well, like you heard Dana after their fight, he went up to Usman and said thank you. Immediately after the fight, or when he was, declared the loser, he was like, thank you. And you can tell that Dana kind of wants to make it up to Usman in some way. So whether it's another high profile middleweight fight, or whether if Edwards loses, he gets the fight against Covington for the title at welterweight. I think that's perfect for Usman.
Yeah. Maybe he fights Dricus. That might be a play.
Maybe.
Because, with Dricus beating me, maybe they use Dricus as a way to like an immediate title shot. Man, it's possible. We play this every week. It is too crazy.
I love it, Rob. I love it so much.
Like, we could be like a conspiracy podcast sitting here for the whole hour just talking about this. But yeah, welcome to the division. I hope he stays. It'll be fun.
I absolutely love playing Matchmaker. Next up, though, we've of course.
I will slide one little bit in there. You
can't stop talking about it.
I don't think Leon Edwards beats Colby. I mean, I don't think Colby beats Leon Edwards. Just throwing my 2 cents out there right now. I don't think he beats Leon Edwards. But yeah,
I can't wait to talk about that fight. That one actually gets me jazzed. Moving on, though, we've got to talk about the main event. Obviously, a fight that all of us Australians were deeply invested in: Makhachev versus Volk 2. Rob, I'm going to let you take this one. What did you think of the fight that took place and everything?
Yep. Mate, like I started with the last fight, you don't know which type of last-minute fighter is going to turn up at these fights. 12 days notice. You don't know what that means. In the case of Usman and Chimaev, Usman looked like Usman could have won that fight.
Yeah.
Okay. It was like competitive. It was a competitive fight on 12 days notice. So you look at it like 12 weeks, he might beat him. It was a competitive fight. Unfortunately, we got 12-day Volk.
Yeah, we did.
And I say that with remorse because he's one of the he's an Australian, and he's probably one of the best to do it. He's in the talks for sure of like one of the more dominant. Like he was number one pound for pound for a long time. He's defending the featherweight belt. Like he's been an animal. He's been an animal. But he took the fight with Makhachev, the lightweight champion. He fought up on 12 days notice, and the Volk that turned up was a Volk of 12 days notice. Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he didn't look himself. I don't think. I think he looked a little slow. He looked a little sluggish.
Yeah.
I think one of his greatest weapons is his cardio and his ability to stay on, to stay in the moment, like to stay to stay engaged, to never let his opponent back off.
Yeah.
And to do that for 25 minutes, which just frays the hairs and it just depletes the gas tank, and his output's huge. He's huge. And I told you his path to victory was going to be high output, aggressive attacking. But we couldn't see that because it was a 12-day Volk. He engaged in a little bit of wrestling and he slowed down from it. Like we never see that from him. We never see that from him. And you take away one of his greatest weapons against the lightweight champion of the world, Khabib's protege.
Yeah.
And the result is as it is. It's the game's a harsh mistress sometimes, dude.
I think now switching on to Makhachev, because I personally don't want to diminish the incredible performance that he had. Yes, 12-day Volk or 11-day Volk. Yes, he had to cut weight. But still, Makhachev proved that he is an elite level striker. And if you actually go back to their first fight, even though he wasn't necessarily going forward, the striking that he did, it was at a lower rate than Volk, but he seemed like he almost hit everything. And I think even in the first fight, he showed that he was an elite level striker. But in this one, it wasn't just random kick out of nowhere. As you saw, he primed that kick and he got Volk to not put his second hand up. And that's when he got kicked in the head and taken down. This is, in my eyes, Makhachev saying to the world, I'm not just a grappler, I'm not just a wrestler, I'm actually one of the best strikers in the world.
Yep. I agree. He's Khabib with better hands, right?
It's a good way to put it. Yeah.
Like he set that head kick up the entire fight. You could see, and he had a lot of success with those kicks in the first fight. He just went body, and as well as being the bigger guy, being the taller guy.
Yeah.
The leg, like he has more reach, but then his legs have additional reach on top of that. He just chipped away at the body, went high. Volk almost got caught with a high kick earlier on in the fight. And the discipline Makhachev had to not just throw another high kick, he went body again. He just went back to work. Body, head. And, you're 100%. I don't want what I was saying to feel like I'm taking away from Makhachev's win.
Yeah.
12-day Volk beats just about anybody else. Right?
It's a good point.
Just about anybody else. It's not like 12-day Volk is some Joe Blow at the pub, dude. He's one of the best fighters in the world. Makhachev beat him handedly because Makhachev's that good, right? You can't you can't short notice, you can't late notice Makhachev.
No.
And what do you do? Makhachev's one step closer to his legacy, and Volk is now, nursing his wounds, and then I guess getting ready for Topuria. If that fight's still going ahead. Which
that's
I'm
why
sure
I want to ask you. So for both Makhachev and Volk, looking forward to the future, starting with Volk. Apparently, his manager said he's on a 45-day medical suspension. That would obviously still allow him to fight at UFC 297 come January against Topuria, who we know is a knockout specialist. And we're going to obviously do our full breakdown closer towards the card if it does end up taking place. But for the sake of today, how do you think Volk would go against Topuria, especially after this? Because we know that taking a loss like this, taking a knockout like this, can affect fighters, especially when they're, at the late stage in the game like Volk is in his career.
It's hard to say. It is very hard to say because this loss is obviously very different to any other loss he's had.
Yeah.
Right. It's hard to say because Volk is he's very much a momentum fighter. He's like he rolls over a guy and then rolls into the next fight, and then on the back of that, like rolls over another guy, and like he keeps that momentum going so well. He just becomes almost an unstoppable force. Like you look at his fight history, his fights get more dominant the quicker he turns around.
Yeah,
it's it's a special ability he has. This is a speed bump. We're going to have to wait and see, honestly, to see how he recovers from this.
Yeah.
Because, it wasn't a pretty way to lose, But, like, again, he's going to jump straight back into the firing line. And, mate, we'll have to wait and see. I'm sure. Well, one thing we do know is that Topuria's practicing head kicks. Dude, he's in the gym right now practicing head kicks only. Dude, this for sure.
Yeah. I'm actually, I'm trying to look it up now. So Topuria is 1.7 meters tall, and he's actually not like the craziest amount taller than Volk is. So Volk is 1.68. Makhachev's height is 1.78. So Makhachev was obviously, and you could see in the fight, way taller than Volk. So that's why the head kick was so effective. I don't think Topuria has that same advantage. I still think Topuria is going to use his hands, but it's going to be an interesting fight. We're going to have to wait and see, like you said. And we're also going to have to wait and see for what seems to be Makhachev versus Oliveira. So Dana White was a bit coy about it, but it seems like he is leaning towards Oliveira getting his fight, Makhachev versus him. At whatever event, we don't know. Gaethje did say he was next, but I think Gaethje's going to have to wait on this one.
Yeah, I think so too. Especially with Oliveira like being free. Like, it wasn't like a big injury. It was just it was a bad cut. That's all.
Yeah. I'll tell you what though, man. I don't know how Oliveira would have gone against Makhachev in that fight. I really, really don't. Just based on how it went down, I think Makhachev has got Oliveira's number, but we will see when we eventually talk about it. But that was pretty much it in terms of like, the Makhachev and Volk fight. Unless you had anything else you wanted to close on, Rob.
Nope. I'm happy with those. It was a great card.
It was a good card, but I've just got to mention, did you end up seeing Johnny Walker in that situation with Ankalaev?
Ankalaev? Yeah.
I need your thoughts, man. I need your thoughts.
Ankalaev need him in the head on the ground, right?
Yes.
Okay. Doctor
very
asked
clearly.
Johnny Walker. Doctor asked, "Where are you?" And Johnny Walker said, "I'm in the desert." And the doctor goes, "He's done. It's over." Like obviously there's a translation problem to begin with Johnny Walker. If anyone's heard the guy speak, right? 2, he is in the desert. Right? He is in the desert. It was a bit funny. I think I heard Dana White speaking on it, saying just like an inexperienced. It was an inexperienced doctor, but it is what it is. I'm upset because like that was a blatant knee to the skull on the ground, right? Yeah, like accidental foul. How do you accidentally knee a dude in the skull when he's on his knees? Like,
I agree, bro.
It wasn't like he was on his feet and he put his reaching down with his hand trying to like cheese the system. No, he was like on his knees. The guy just kneed him in the head. But it was ruled a no contest. Now, I'm going to whinge because he's my teammate. Jacob Malkoon did like miss the guy's neck and just accidentally clipped the dude's traps with an elbow and he got DQ'd, straight DQ'd.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel like that's a bit how you are going.
It is. No, it is a bit how you are going. And even Johnny Walker came out after and he said, so this is what he said on Twitter. Why should I follow a rule that has no punishment if I break it? If he can do illegal things to take advantage, then I can too and get a no contest next time. I really do feel for him because the rule is there for a reason. Really. And now this should not, it's obviously not going to set a precedent, but it's just not a good look. And it might open up a little bit of space for people to be able to argue, well, you gave this a no contest instead of a straight DQ. Why isn't it that the case for me? I didn't throw this knee or I didn't throw this elbow, intentionally. It's just it's a bad look, man.
Agreed. I can see a lot of people throwing petitions in after the weekend.
Yeah.
like
change.org petitions, 1,000 signatures for the decision to be overturned. Yeah, dude. But that was pretty much it.
It was a weird one.
Yeah. UFC 294 in the books. Looking forward to the next event. But Rob, there is one more bit of UFC news that we need to talk about. So Cannonier was set to fight Roman Dolidze at UFC Austin on December 2. Unfortunately, Cannonier is actually out of that fight because he tore his MCL. What does that do for Roman Dolidze? Is he going to fight anyone, especially with what we've seen on short turnaround notices and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah.
What happens?
I don't know. Ask Usman.
Usman's not fighting. No way, bro. No way.
See what he's up to, bro. You know.
You really want Usman to stay in middleweight.
No, he just seems the guy you call, and he just comes out of like another division just to punch on. Why not? Honestly, Cannonier getting injured. Look at that. He was obviously preparing as the backup for Sean Strickland and Adesanya. And then he got injured, rolling over into another camp for Dolidze. Was it too much? Was there too long of a camp with no break? Who knows? Like, injuries just happen. Dolidze, I don't know. The division's pretty tied up right now, honestly. Like, a lot of dudes already tied up. Or they're cruising until next year because 'tis the season to be jolly. So... I don't know. Get your crazy presents on. Have a Christmas is back on, boys.
It looks like Dolidze is going to have Christmas off. Brings. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens with that.
It's a bad thing.
No, it's not.
You know what's a crazy thing? Let me just slide something in there before we finish, bro. Well, firstly, that's the end of UFC news. Okay, everyone. So if you came for that, I'm starting to tangent again.
You are tangenting.
That's the end of the UFC news and UFC 294. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when you think about it, if you're lucky, right? If you're lucky, you only get 80 Christmases.
That's a really morbid way of thinking about it, Rob. But go on. I'm listening.
Yeah, dude. But that's what I mean. There's only 80 of them. And when you put a number, like a number to it, if you're lucky, you get 80 Christmas. If you put a number to it, you suddenly realize, man, every Christmas is important.
You're right. To eat and to drink and to enjoy your family,
dress up as Santa, everything. Be merry.
Yeah.
Hey, put up a tree,
presents,
have a big feast. I don't know. Yeah. I feel like it's above my pay grade to like really delve into how deep what I just said is, but I think it's significant.
Yeah.
And I'll leave on that.
All right. So moving on to games news, bit of a lighter week in the games news department. But Rob, this is something that I really want to talk about. So Fallout is getting a TV show with Amazon Prime. We've known about it for a while. There is finally a release date. The 12th of April next year, 2024, is when we're going to be seeing the first episode. My guess is it probably will be a weekly thing. It won't be dropped all at once like Netflix likes to do. In the lore of Fallout, it's going to be set in Los Angeles. There was a trailer shown behind closed doors. It was leaked, so we won't talk about it. Produced by Kilter Films, same company behind Westworld. Debut episode is going to be directed by Westworld creator Jonathan Nolan. Rob, are you keen for the Fallout TV show? I'm interested.
Yes, I am. I love the Fallout universe. Like really, really, probably one of my favorite universes, to be honest. I really enjoy it. So I'm interested in it.
Yeah.
I'm very skeptical to jump on TV shows or movies based on games.
Yeah.
Just because they a lot of movies and TV shows just can't capture the soul of a game and its world and universe. And actors can't capture the characters because it's so surreal that it's very hard to capture that in real life.
Yeah.
So I'm hesitant, but I'm definitely interested.
There is definitely a better track record compared to the past of video game adaptations towards movies and TV shows. They've got some good actors involved, like Walton Goggins is going to be playing a ghoul, which just sounds freaking awesome. I think I saw a photo and he just really looked the part. It might have been AI generated. But I am quietly hopeful on this. And I think when I look at a movie, like, I don't know if you ever watched the Super Mario movie, that was so cool. And I'm just holding out because I love Fallout. You know how much I love Fallout. If this thing bombs, I will actually want to cry. I will actually be very disappointed because we probably wouldn't see another adaptation again. I've watched every fan-made adaptation and live action that you could possibly imagine. Fallout Nuka World. Search that up. It is like Nuka Cola or something. I don't remember what it's called. It is freaking awesome, and it just gets me hyped for this. So I personally can't wait.
It's gonna be. I'm excited.
Next up, though, Rob, we got to talk about it. Spider-Man 2. We talked about it a little bit last week. Mm-hmm. It is currently the fastest-selling PlayStation Studios game in history. They tweeted out the following: Marvel Spider-Man 2 has sold more than 2.5 million copies in the first 24 hours. And the last time they declared the fastest selling game was God of War, which was 5.1 million copies in its first week. So it seems like Spider-Man 2 is going to be smashing that. And we can lead into what we're watching, playing, and reading, because I've been playing a bit of Spider-Man 2. Rob, it's just feel good. It is just, if I had a friend that was like, I've never played a video game before, I want to get into gaming, this would 100% be the game that I'd recommend. Because you get to swap between Miles and Peter Parker. It looks beautiful. Like, all the moves are fun to use. I just get enjoyment playing this game, man. I don't know what it is. Like, have your kids started playing it yet? I'm curious.
They haven't stopped. My son is frothing on it. It is such a, you know what? You hit the nail on the head. If there was one game I had to sell to someone, like to get into gaming, it would be Spider-Man 2. It would be because you're 100% right. It's not complicated. No. Like, even the fights and the combos and the things you can do during the fights they're very streamlined. They're very intuitive. Like, it works well. It's seamless and it's not complicated. But it's so cool. It's for such little input. There's such high reward. And the fact that you can go like swinging around the city of New York, which is beautiful, right?
Yeah.
It is. And all the new suits, the new outfits, it's cool. My son is having a lot of fun.
Dude, what you were talking about when it comes to the moves, if you actually like pull up the full combo list, there's a lot of moves, but the beautiful thing, it keeps giving you reminders. It looks intimidating, but it keeps giving you reminders on screen when in the middle of a fight, hey, do this because it's going to do that. And I'm like, oh, fuck, yeah, I forgot that I could do this awesome takedown move. And it just makes it so accessible to people like me that forget combos, but also the new gamers are like, I just want to mash buttons, but if there's an indicator on the screen of what to do that's going to look cool, I'm going to do it. Oh, it's just great game design.
Mate, my wife, Jack, got Sophia to have a go at it. She's smashing buttons like it's Street Fighter 2 at an arcade.
Yes!
And she's pulling off the sickest moves, dude. The sickest moves. Like, it just works. It just works. Yeah, it just works.
And there's also other features as well, which I'm loving. So, for instance, there's the way that they've done fast travel. Once you've unlocked a certain number of missions and stuff in an area, you can fast travel to any area within reason on the map, and it will just swing you right in. It's almost instantaneous. It is probably the coolest implementation of fast travel that I've ever seen in a video game ever. So, Spider-Man 2, I'm really enjoying. I I have not, obviously, I'm not even close to finishing it. I think it's about 30 to 35 hours for like a regular playthrough. So I'll still be playing it for a while. But yeah, that's the news. That's what I've been personally playing.
Oh no, have you been watching anything?
Oh, have I? Dude, all right. I've got this for you. I think you recommended it to me. I have started.
If it's good, I definitely did.
I hope it was this. Is it called The Rising of the Shield Hero?
Oh, yeah.
So I started.
It's good, eh?
Dude, I started watching it only the first episode, but that was like 40 minutes or 50 minutes long. So it was pretty much like two or so episodes combined into one. I was like, I tell you what, initially I was enjoying it when it was very feel good. This is a video game. He's got his cool partner and she's really bubbly and excited. I'm like,
heart-wrenching.
I was like, I'm enjoying this. Like, I feel good. Like, this is like a video game, right? And then it just gets dark. It's like, and I won't spoil it for any of you that haven't watched it. It gets really dark really quickly, but I'm even more engrossed now. I was ready for something else. I was ready for something feel good and wholesome, but then I put it on its head, and now I'm ready for what's to come because he's like ready to go. It's good,
dude. Like it makes you hate the world.
Yes,
like it makes you, and you feel it. I don't know, like I said, there aren't a lot of animes that make me feel stuff, but I got angry. I got actually angry when I watched that series. So I intend to watch it again because I think season 3 just dropped last season. So you got a ton of episodes too to get ahead of you, which is so exciting. But that's so awesome to hear that.
I'm actually like really excited. I haven't gotten excited, and I'll be real with you. I've enjoyed Jujutsu Kaisen, but I'm more excited about completing Shield Hero than I am like with Jujutsu Kaisen. And I just caught up with that, by the way. It's really like I'm enjoying it. It's really good. But I'm getting the same feelings with Shield Hero. It's only very early on, but the same feelings that I got with Black Clover once I got into it. It just, I don't know what it is, man. It just caught me straight away. So that's what I've been watching and playing.
Yeah, mate. Oh, I'm gonna blow your mind, bro. I got so many good animes for you to make you feel stuff, dude. Like really
write them down.
Like catch you by your ankles, mate. I got so many. Yeah. But Rising of a Hero is good.
Yeah.
Myself, what have I been playing? I've been playing Lords of the Fallen. I've been playing Lords of the Fallen.
Yeah.
And it's good. It's fun.
I'm glad you're enjoying it, bro. And I'm glad.
The developing team behind it are obviously very aware that there are a lot of parts that don't work quite as intended, or there's some patching that needs to be done, or they're fixing some things that, they didn't expect to work the way it does on launch. And they're like, there's a patch like every single day, which you've got to applaud, especially in this day and age, because there's a lot of games that go on market that just get forgotten.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good game. I want everyone who plays it, though, because I looked at the Steam reviews and it's mixed reviews. And you'll notice a lot of the recent reviews are all positive because of the updates and because they're patching things. But the people that say playtime of 20 minutes and then just have a massive go, like like so bad that they have to go on and write a comment about it after 20 minutes. Bro, have a good hard look at yourself, mate. Like relax, dude. Relax. Yeah. Like you know who you need to go out and attack is the guys that like shamelessly put in like pay stores to get ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
Like those guys, microtransactions to like get ahead of all the free players. Yeah, those guys. You can start commenting about that, like, and putting bad reviews for that crap, because that's not right. But I think, I don't know, the reviews really get under my skin on Lords of the Fallen, because these guys are patching every day. Like I said, it's a fun game. It is a fun game. There's a lot of cool looking armor, a lot of cool looking weapons, and dude's just like whinging about silly stuff. You know what it is? It might be a generational thing, because you remember when we were young, when the games come out, dude. Like if they were a little dodge, you were stuck with that. Like,
Yeah.
that's just how it was.
Yeah.
Like, dude. If
No
there was
updates, no
game
nothing.
if there was a game-breaking bug, dude, like, you learn to live with it or work around it. Do you remember Fallout New Vegas? There were some quests in that game that you literally got hard locked out of because of certain decisions you've made or because of certain bugs, especially bugs.
Yeah.
And you had to learn like workarounds, like to be able to hand the question somehow or get the reward somehow. Like, you adapted it. Maybe it's a generational thing, but this generational of gamers, weak user, weak. I'm looking at you weak complainers.
You do make a good point, though, because last week when you were talking about it and I was referencing the bad reviews, I believe Steam was negative or mostly negative. So it going to mixed is a really good sign after all those patches, because
good.
I will say it does prove, and this happened, it seems like it's happening with Lords of the Fallen. It happened with Fallout 76. Steam reviewers will actually go back and change their mind, or they will update their reviews for the most part, or you'll have new players coming in with positive reviews and it'll kind of filter out the old ones, or at least dilute them a little bit. So that is a good thing, like, I genuinely about Steam reviews, is that I do see the needle change when a dev actually makes the effort.
Yeah. I'll retract a little bit. So if you're a guy that puts a negative comment and then goes back and changes it, you are very valued people of the economy as a whole, because I look at reviews like everyone else, and it's important to see that. So if you go back and you adjust it, like you're doing the world a service. This announcement and rant was not to you guys. Okay, so the other salties that refunded us 20 minutes and never give it another glance ever again.
And what have you been watching?
Right. Sorry about that, boys.
Oh, good.
I haven't. Honestly, I haven't had a lot of time to do anything. I haven't. No books worth really bringing up.
Fair.
I haven't just Lords of the Fallen, and the season of anime is still fresh season, so waiting a few more episodes.
Fair. That's going to be a hell of an episode once you wait for, like, how many episodes are you waiting for most of them? Like, do you want at least 4 or 5 or something like that?
At least 4.
That's fair.
At least 4. Because then I'll watch 3 different animes at once. So that's like 12 episodes, really.
That's true. That's going to be a hell of a Sunday for you. But then that's pretty much it. Like, what we've been watching, playing, and reading. The last segment, as always, viewer questions. If you have any questions, always let us know in the comments below. We try to answer as many of them as we can. First one that we have is from @FoundProspect2604. As a side, I think every person subscribed to us, Rob, has numbers in their username constantly. Found Prospect 2604 asks, question for both, but mainly Rob. Have you ever played Final Fantasy 14? I think it would be right up Rob's alley, considering it's an MMO with no technical and an anime aesthetic. Rob, have you played Final Fantasy 14? I think you have, right?
I have.
What do you think of it?
Mate, and he'll get it because he plays it like typed in fastest way to level. Like with all MMOs, the aim of the game is to get to end game, so you can start hunting like good gear, start being a part of the community per se. The fastest way to level up is to slog your way through hours and hours of story, bro. And the story was terrible. Oh, no. In my opinion. I did not like it at all. Well, to be fair, I don't like quests at all in MMOs. Like, at all. Dude, I can't stand them. Couldn't stand them in any MMO I've ever played. I just don't like questing. I'd rather, I don't like it. It's not fun. Okay?
No, I get it. I get it. Yeah.
Being forced to quest in an MMO just kills me. Like, that was, So that kind of, I think the highest I got was like level 32. I was like a level 32 paladin, maybe.
Fair.
Or gladiator. One of the two. And it was just, there was a lot of things I liked. I wanted to get into it so bad. I even joined a guild at one point because I was so pumped. But the quest, I couldn't push myself to get through it. Plus, I didn't really have a lot of people to play it with. So, yeah.
That is key. Like, I feel like with MMOs, I need a friend to play with. Otherwise, I just kind of feel very lonely and isolated. But the next question that we have is from, and I apologize if I pronounced this wrong. El Crucius asks, "Hey Rob, I'm curious if the last couple of middleweight title shots, Strickland, now Khamzat and Usman winner, have changed your mind a little about accepting short notice fights or taking more risky matchups ranking wise. Have they, Rob?" I think this question was asked before the last event, before Volk lost, before Usman lost. But it sounds like, though, like you don't like accepting short notice fights.
Well, for good reason. Like, you're just stacking the chips against you, right?
Yeah.
It's and look at the two guys that accepted short notice fights on the weekend.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Look at what happened.
Yeah.
It's it is what it is. I think there's a place for it. I think if you're ready, that's why, like, my mentality is like I'm trying to be year round ready so I can take these short notice fights. But how short notice is short notice? 5 weeks is all right. That's a short notice fight I'll take.
Yeah.
12 days? Especially for like cutting weight.
Yeah. Following on from that, there is something that I want to ask you that I forgot about. What's the point of having a backup fighter? It was Gamrot, I believe, for the Volkan and Makhachev fight, what eventually became that fight. Gamrot was the backup fighter. What's the point of having a backup fighter if they don't get utilized? Do you know what I mean? Because I know that Volkan Makhachev 2 was obviously money fight. Dana wanted to sell the pay-per-view as much as possible. Clearly, that's why the decision was made. Clearly, they were trying to call as many different people as possible that they thought would make for a better selling fight than Makhachev versus Gamrot. But still, I felt like we would have gotten a better fight with Makhachev and Gamrot as opposed to what we saw with Makhachev and Volk. Do you disagree? I don't know.
No, I agree. I didn't even know Gamrot was in the picture. I don't understand what the reason for having him there at all. I don't even know what backup fighters get, like, paid. I don't know. So I don't know, mate. I don't know.
It's just weird to me. Like, you have this guy that's clearly obviously training because he's getting paid. I confirmed it then, by the way. He was definitely the backup fighter. Obviously before Oliveira backed out. So then he became the backup fighter for Volkan and Makhachev too. Just a weird one to me. I don't know. Next question.
No, it is. And like, even if, like, obviously it's in Abu Dhabi, they want to make the card bang for where it is, location wise, for the Sheiks, right? But why have Gamrot as a backup fighter at all? Like, the location never changed. It was always there, right? Weird. Maybe he was a backup fighter for if they couldn't. Like, maybe he was a backup fighter for if this situation arose where no one would take the fight in 12 days.
But then,
then it kind of makes sense a little bit.
Like, in my mind, on 12 days is such a short. But it's such a short turnaround period. Like, I don't know, man. Maybe Dana, his eyes lit up when Volk, returned his call and said, "Yeah, I'm going to do it," because again, it's a bigger money fight. But in my mind, I would have preferred on that short turnaround notice to see Makhachev fight someone that actually had a proper camp. But that's just my random piece on it. Next question that we have is from DJ Buttersmooth asking, "Two of my favorite games of all time both seem to be very love it or hate it type of games, but I'm curious if either of you have had any experience with either Death Stranding or Returnal and what you thought about them if so." DJ Buttersmooth, I wanted to include this question because I have played Returnal. I really liked Returnal. I did cheese it a little bit only because there was like a little glitch where if you kept going back to the starting ship or whatever, you got to heal. And I did that a couple of times when I was getting used to the controls. But then after that, I did it legit, and Returnal had some phenomenal gameplay. It was underrated, so I really like Returnal, but I haven't played Death Stranding. What?
Bro, you can't say after that I did it legit when you got through the hardest part of the game.
No. You got to remember. You got to remember, because a Returnal, when you die, you go back, right? So I ended up trying it for like 1 or 2 times, and then I died, got sent back to the start. I'm like, all right, now I did it legit from that point on. So yeah, I cheated a little bit, but who cares? It's my game. I play the way that I want. Single player.
There's no such There's no such thing as cheated a little bit, mate. All right.
Oh, sure there is. Sure, you've never used console commands in a Fallout game.
No way, bro. No way.
Come on, Rob. Come on.
Swears.
Absolutely.
Swears.
Well, no, this is the point. All right. It's like using mods in a game. It's like they're all a form of taking away from the original base experience.
You see, and that's always been my kind of internal crisis with using mods. You know, that's why I always only use mods that make the game harder.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Well, what you've said about modding is that you'll mod a game for hours and hours and just never play it, and then you'll play it again in 6 months, just like you keep doing with Skyrim.
Yeah, well, Skyrim's taking a backseat. I don't even think I can mod it anymore. Like,
no,
it's had its day. It's had its day. But
have you? Yeah.
Back to the question. Death Stranding, never even heard of it. Returnal, never even heard of it.
Dude,
I didn't even know Sean Bean was in a game.
Oi. You would like Returnal.
I just Googled it.
Yeah.
I just Googled like the image. It was a good one.
It's not Sean Bean, is it? It's what's his face?
It looks like it. Dude.
No, it's not Sean Bean. I can't remember what his name is.
It looks like it.
It's at the tip of my tongue. I actually think you would like Returnal, Rob. It's definitely your style of game for sure.
I can't even say 100% if I know what Sean Bean looks like. Is that Boromir from Lord of the Rings?
It is Boromir. Yeah, 100%.
Okay, then we're good. We're on the same wave. But no, sorry, bro. This love-hate discussion is going to continue on for a little while longer. I can't give you a definitive answer right now.
It's Mads Mikkelsen, I think, who you're thinking of, by the way. Next question that we have is from Ricky Ferry 1509 asking, what X-Men power would y'all have? One only and no ultra mega threat level Omega mutants allowed. Now, I think what this person means is that just what power generally from X-Men. I don't think he means specifically someone that is actually an X-Men in the lore of the universe. You know what I mean? So I think anyone from X-Men comics or whatever. So who would yours be, Rob?
Yep.
Or what would your power be?
Can I pick Juggernaut?
That's a good one.
Because but technically his isn't even a mutation. It's magic.
Yeah, but I still think it counts. If I
can have his power, I would take his power. Like dude's like literally immortal. It's crazy.
True. Would you consider?
No, I like Professor X's power too, bro.
Yeah, but then people can just wear a helmet, and then you got no power. You know?
Yeah, but then I'll shoot you in the face with a freaking sniper rifle.
And what's that going to do against Magneto? He's just going to bend the bullet and throw it away. It's going to be nothing to him. This is the problem.
And this is one thing I've never understood, right? Okay, I've never understood this. His brain doesn't go faster than the speed of light, than the speed of sound. 100% the army would have taken him out like years ago. They can put like 50 caliber shells kilometers away, bro.
I don't know, man. Magneto's pretty powerful.
Sketchy proposition.
Magneto can feel and sense metal. He can feel and sense metal
he's asleep?
wherever it.
When he's asleep?
Absolutely. He's Magneto. He's
what
one
if
with metal.
Drop a nuke on him?
I reckon Magneto's powerful enough to stop a nuke. I genuinely think
from 2 kilometers away.
Absolutely. Like as it gets closer, he could get it and throw it away for sure.
It doesn't need to land on him. It's a nuke, dude.
Well, how close does it have to get to explode?
Bro, nukes are big, dude. And
I know that.
No doubt in my mind that as soon as he became a high level threat, they'd nuke him. Like damned be to all the citizens around it. Without a doubt. Like the range of a nuke is huge, bro. Huge.
I'm gonna Google can Magneto stop a nuke. I reckon he can. 100%.
There's bullets made of no metals.
Can Magneto stop a nuke?
If you don't think the US military would create like a Gatling gun made of plastic, they would.
Hold on. Utilizing his mastery of the fundamental forces of magnetism, Magneto has managed to create force barriers sufficiently strong to blunt the effects of a nuclear attack on at least one occasion. He's done it. He's done it, Rob.
Okay.
Oh, here's the problem with comics, though. Unless you've read them all, generally, like superheroes and villains, they're so powerful in comics, they can do whatever the hell they want, right? So, if I was to give an answer, by the way,
I'd either take Juggernaut's power or Professor X's. I like both of them. They're pretty good. What's yours?
Fair. I don't know if Jean Grey is considered ultra mega threat level because she's got the power of the
100% ultra mega threat.
Yeah,
100 billion% ultra mega threat.
Then I don't know, man. That was definitely the first one because I know how powerful she is. If we're just going by cool factor, Nightcrawler's cool because he can teleport everywhere. I think that would be a sweet power to have. Yeah, I'm just gonna say Nightcrawler. I think that's sweet. Oh, look, I don't need to look like him. I just need to be able to teleport. Teleport into a bank, steal some money. Done.
What? You upset me with these questions, bro. Like these questions, you upset me because like you literally have the power to change the world. Like you have the world at your fingertips, the universe, consequential powers, and you pick the little space monkey.
No, I picked Jean Grey, but the problem is no ultra mega threat level of mega mutants allowed. That was the question.
Yeah, I would have picked. Oh, what's his name? Apocalypse.
That's ultra mega threat level, isn't it? Apocalypse,
I know,
for sure.
But like that's why we're staying away from it.
I see what you're saying. Yeah. So you would have picked Apocalypse. Okay, that's fair. All right. Well, hold on. Is Storm ultra mega threat level? She's getting there. No, I mean, she's pretty powerful. No. I'll pick Storm. Storm's pretty good.
I stand by my 50 cal at 2 kilometers.
Oh, please. The last question that we have is from Edvardus LPI asking, Rob, if you possess the ability, the X-Men power, just joking, to ability to morph into any shape or size while retaining your current skills, which UFC weight division would you prefer to engage with the most and why? Rob?
Oh.
If you could instantly transform.
Heavyweights, for sure.
Heavyweight? Fair.
Yeah. I just get huge, absolutely huge. Like, make my head huge so that I can't be stopped and just bang, bro. Just bang.
Dude,
I would love that, dude.
Speaking of dudes that are huge, have you seen Alex Pereira right now? At light heavyweight. That dude is friggin' jacked. Oh, I can't wait to see his fight.
I don't know how he got down to middleweight, but yeah.
I don't know either. Hey, finally, to end this podcast, I saw this short that was going viral from the UFC's channel. It was a press conference with you that was like, have you seen the size of the fella when you were talking about Pereira? It has like millions of views, Rob. People are cracking up. He's massive.
Yeah, dude. Get your pitchforks out. We're going to go monster hunting. Like, guy's huge.
Oh man, but that's it. That is UFC. Oh, that is UFC 294. That is episode 24 of the MMArcade podcast. Rob, it's been another one in the books.
Another one in the books. Another long one in the books for you guys. This is this is a good one. This is a good week. I do want to say thank you to all our subscribers. Like we hit the 15K mark, 15.3 now. All the comments, I read the comments. You can tell because we structure. The way I answer a lot of questions, the way I structure my responses to a lot of the segments is based on reading your comments and how you guys are asking about certain things and whatnot. As well as we get a lot of questions. Oh, there's a lot of questions there. Just because we didn't announce it in that episode, we put it into a bank for next episode or the episode after that. We have a question bank. So please do ask your questions. Please do send this to all your friends. Shout it from your windows as usual. And thanks for joining us.
Peace, everyone. Take care.